Okay, Paul, it's a little bit sort of crazy season at the moment. There's been a few changes. Crazy season with the transfer window, of course, and there's been a few changes at the football club. Half expecting you to walk in with a phone attached to your ear tonight.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Definitely, with clubs interested in other parties as well getting in touch about players. So it's been an interesting week, and obviously, the sooner it ends, the better.
So, with this particular transfer window, is it more really about keeping some talented players at the club rather than adding to the squad?
Well, it shows that the squad's doing something right. If we've got interest in the players, which we have, we have got a lot of talented young boys, which has been well documented. So it's inevitable that these guys will attract interest, and that's what's happened. So the team is in a good place at the minute, and for us to kick on, we need definitely all our better young players about the place. So hopefully, as I say, we can retain the players that we've got, and then obviously review that at the end of the season. Then.
You've brought in Salou Jallo and James McClay since we last had a Thursday training night chat.
Yeah, well, James's player was here previous. We know of him in terms of what he can bring to a team. He has got experience at championship level, and when he was here previous, we liked what he did. He was a key player, and hopefully he can get back to that level, which is what's needed in this stage of the season. And young Jallo has come on the back of experience at Glentorrent and Ards in particular. Some playing experience in England as well. He's 26 years of age, a good age, 26 years of age, sorry. And we need somebody in that kind of area. Now he is, in fairness, down in games, and he probably needs to train, so it might take him 3 to 4 weeks to get up to speed. But he's definitely a player with reputation and talent, which hopefully he can bring to our team. So we're looking forward to seeing the best of him.
You're probably fed up answering this question, but there's obviously quite a few days left in this particular transfer window. Uh, well, there's fans likely to see further arrivals.
All of the other players coming in, with Phil Agnew going out, we need a goalkeeper, so we're hoping to have that sorted tonight. We also probably need a couple other players in key positions, so we are speaking to people. There will be definitely players going out. There may be a possibility that players coming in. There may be a possibility that players going out, but as I say, that all depends on what is presented to us. But at this moment in time, we're in no rush to let any of our talented young players go anywhere.
And of course, you mentioned Dylan Agnew there. A few other lads have gone out this week, and in fact, Lewis Mearns, he actually played 90 minutes, I think, for Coke at the weekend. But Darren McCluskey and just today, Brandon Doyle has gone to Ballyclare.
Yeah, well, Brandon, in fairness, was a player that we could have kept. I think, to be fair to him, he needs games, and Ballyclare were keen to take him. So Brandon has had a rough time of it with injury, and then he's picked up. He came on to us at the start of the season, scored three in his first start, and he was excellent. And then he picked up an injury; he was out for another 2 or 3 weeks. So he probably needs a run of games. Obviously, with our strikers that we have had, particularly Tiernan O'Connor's prominence, it's been difficult for him to get game time. But as I say, he's a talented boy, and I'm sure he'll do well at Ballyclare. Darren needs games as well. He's just found himself out with numbers in there, which is good, and we have a bit of experience in there. And as a young 19-year-old centre back, he's done fairly well at being here. It's just the way the team is situated at the minute. So again, we feel he needs games for his development, so it'll be unfair to keep him about. So I think them two will definitely give a good account of themselves at Ballyclare because they're two good players.
Yeah. Some other players coming back from longish term injury, like James McCarthy and Sean O'Kane.
Well, McCarthy's obviously been here since I've been here, and he's a talented boy. He knows what we think of him. It's just we want to see more of him on the pitch. Sean O'Kane had a bad injury at the start of the season. Again, a young player, 20 years of age, who's heading in the right direction, and hopefully we can see him playing. He's the type of player we need in the team. Actually, he's an aggressive centre back, not frightened of a challenge, and he's got great leadership qualities as well. Real good, solid young fella. So we're looking forward to bringing them back down in the next couple of weeks because they'll certainly be needed.
The turn of the year, which is pretty much where we're at. It's probably a good time to review the season so far. So I'm going to put you in the spot a little bit. You'll probably tell me it's a work in progress, but would you suggest you're ahead of schedule at this stage or keeping pace?
No, we're on schedule. You can't really advise on anything on that. At the end of the day, we've got an evolving team. Um, Moments change games, as you've seen on Saturday. Players' decisions change games, and that's what happens. Obviously, we're sitting third. We would like to be better positioned. Every team does. But at the same time, there's more to come from this team, and they know that we're demanding more. There's more responsibility needed, and if they want to be top players, they have to take that responsibility, and that's what we're asking for. And we're going to be demanding of it. Now we have a really tough set of fixtures. Every game's difficult in this championship, and you have to earn the right to play, as was shown last week against a very competitive, highly motivated Armagh side. So if you don't be at your very best for the 90 plus minutes, you're going to come wanting, and that's what we need to be. We need to be our very best in the games coming up.
Yeah, we certainly saw that on Saturday. So, look, recent seasons, there always seems to be in the championship one club setting the pace and a clutch of clubs fighting for the playoff spot. Is that how you see things currently?
It's the same in any league. Lumfield's the same. They've got a lead at the top as well. I'm sure if you ask Glentoran, is the league over? They'll say no. Bangor do hold these cards in a Sir League they lose, and they've brought on good experienced players, which you would expect. Bangor's a fantastic football club, great support, great tradition. They are really a Premiership team in the waiting, but we have to do what we do. As I said, we're an evolving club in terms of the stadium and the team. There's been a lot of changes made to the team in the last 12 months, and it's going in the right direction. It has brought us difficulties with the interest, which was to be expected, because we knew that we had talented boys and there will be interest in them. So we just have to keep doing what we're doing. We have to win every game. We have to see where it takes us. But this is a key stage of the season because this is the third set of fixtures before the split, and we have to try and do as well as we possibly can if we want to go in them last 5 games and try and make a dent on the top 6.
Switching back to maybe reviewing the season, the Cups and the County Antrim Shield, we've had some great draws here at the Welders this season, but I've sensed a tinge of regret. At least one big scalp wasn't taken.
No, not really. It's part of the learning. We at the end of the day, I wasn't here for the County Antrim Shield game, but we didn't win the match for various reasons. But the Glens have invested well, and they're a good run at the minute. We played them in the month, like it was their 7th victory against us. So listen, we caught them on a day where we had to be at our best, and we had the hope that they had an off day. Listen, we played really well. I can't fault the players that day, but we conceded a couple of soft goals, which again is maybe down to inexperience. So it's great learning for the players. Not really interested in scalps as such, and more interested in progress. I'm more interested in, it's nice to get a couple of, like we did that a couple of seasons ago when we came in with the element of surprise. We beat the likes of Glenavon and Newry City when they were in the Premiership. But there's no airs and graces here. We have to just do our basics, and it doesn't matter if you're playing, Newington, who's bottom of the table at the minute. Like they played us a couple of weeks ago and they were fantastic. And that's a championship, or you're playing Bangor, who's top. You have to be at your very best every game, as we shown last week, and that's what we need to focus on and concentrate on. And we have to do what we do well and try and add a wee bit more and improve if we want to get to where we want to go to.
Okay, highlights and lowlights this season so far. We'll go negative first and end in a positive. Anything that's particularly irked you this season?
But really, it's just transfer time now, and there's a lot of interest in clubs make direct contact with players. That's part of it. But no, I can't. Really happy with what the players have brought. There's always going to be times when you feel that they haven't done their best, and you have to tell them that, and hopefully they respond. But the players and the staff have give everything, and I'm really pleased where we're at. And listen, it's not really, in my opinion, a time for a review. It's more a time for galvanising what we're trying to do, and that's what we're trying to do at the minute. Because the most important thing is during this window is keeping our key players, maybe adding a couple of players, which is always a difficult window, which is going to make a team better, and that's what I'm focused on.
You have a highlight of this season so far?
Not really. As I says, you can't really, because you're more interested in reflecting on it at the end of the season. and then you can see what the good, the bad, and the indifferent is. Nothing's won or lost in January, but at the same time, this month has a big impact on what you do in the season. And as I says, you can start looking at how the table looks in February time, and I've always said that. So we just have to try and win and pick up as many points as we can, as this is in a very difficult league. We're under no illusions, Ballinamallard and Saturday will be a really difficult game, and we have to be at our very best to try and get 3 points. I know it's a boring statement, but it's fact. You know, if we're not at our best and we do drop our guard, then we're asking for trouble.
Of course, it's nice to be in the race in January, and you mentioned Ballinamallard, and they're next up on Saturday. I think you already said it. There's still dangerous opposition, despite maybe showing some indifferent form this season.
Well, again, they've had a bit of a stop-start because of fixtures and one's cancelled and all the rest of it, but they're a good local team. They've got good camaraderie. Mark Stafford's done a great job on them. They've got good players. They've got players who can hurt you. They've done us on a number of occasions over the last couple of seasons. So I'm under no I know Aaron Arkinson very well because he would have played years ago in clubs that we were involved in. But he's not, or they're not to be underestimated. They're going to be, they're definitely going to be a good opponent.
And just maybe before we close, you've also new coaches overseeing the under-21s at the minute. Player development, a priority in that one?
It is, in fairness, that was obviously came out of the blue, and then we put Joe and Martin in charge, and so far they've done a sterling job. The whole thing about our youth development program is you need players coming on the first team. Now we had good players last year who some of them have chose to go elsewhere. Some of them just weren't ready for the first team in terms of high standards, and they're out learning their trade. Well, maybe one or two of them will have view to coming back. But youth development is key, but it's going to be difficult here for this club because there's so big competition with some of the bigger clubs around, particularly Glens. Get a lot of good kids getting into them. So we have obviously got a lot of competition, and Martin and Joe have a really tough job, but it's something that we need to depend upon in this club moving forward is good youth development and good players coming through.
Okay, Paul, thanks very much for your time. Good luck on Saturday at home to Ballinamallard. Ballinamallard, that's correct, yeah. I'll let you get back to your transfer business.
Thank you.